Hi there, and welcome back to the official MerchPride YouTube channel. Today we'll be discussing about overseas manufacturers and suppliers and how you can get precisely what you need, want and desire from China and Asia by asking the 5 most basic questions to start your sourcing journey. Let's dive straight in. Hi, I'm George Chewson, one of the founders here at MerchSprout. If you don't know us already, MerchSprout helps you get the stock that you need from China and Asia through robust teaching, sourcing, manufacturing, auditing, and quality assurance. We're a one-stop shop when it comes to all things China and manufacturing. Now be sure to hit that like and subscribe button as it helps us get out of the bed in the morning and create quality content like this. Now this video, we'll be getting into the nitty gritty and showing you how to get the best quality components from China. And that's by finding the best quality suppliers and knowing what questions to ask before you start handing over your cash to them. Now, if you've seen any previous videos on this channel, you'll know that we have some real advocates for all things quality and have a natural eye for asking suppliers the tough questions to get the best items possible. Now in this video, we'll be looking at the questions that we ask suppliers when first starting to work with them. And that's to ensure that you know exactly who you're dealing with and confirming that they have your best interests at heart. So why do we ask questions initially? So when refining customers' needs before sourcing new components from overseas suppliers, we always determine 5 essential questions from customers and suppliers. We will discuss these questions and the ideal answers that you want to hear back from suppliers. Now it's strange, but actually the first question that we ask is not to the suppliers themselves, it's actually to us or the customers that we are sourcing for. And let me tell you why. Now, when sourcing from new suppliers abroad, it can be challenging to determine the supplier's ability and their capability to fulfill your order to your specifications. But first, you need to understand your specifications. So we always take a good look in the mirror and ask, do I know what I want? Okay, so why is it that when we would start sourcing, we would start by asking ourselves what we want? Sounds a bit strange. It's where the majority of people who try to source from China get it wrong, because many people open up Alibaba, made in China, 1688.com, intending to find something that will make them a millionaire tomorrow. Now, I'm sorry to tell you, but building a sustainable product is challenging and time consuming. And much like, a viral video, you can get lucky and hit that home run in the first product. But to do it over and over and over again, it requires a different strategy. And that's what we're going to discuss. Now, one of those strategies is ensuring that you've done your homework, learn about your market and understand the product that you want to source, what your target market needs. And we've discussed this at length, and I'll leave a link to a good video here. So when we ask what the products that we want are, we ask ourselves to clarify the products. After all, if we're looking for a product that even we didn't know existed, it wouldn't work very well when we went to look for it. Fear not though, there is a refined top tip that we implement when searching for products. Now, because we use an RFQ, which stands for Request for Quotation, and we've made a few videos on the subject, but because we are listing down everything in this RFQ in a single document, the supplier would need to provide us with an accurate quote. It allows you to put down on paper all the specifications that you need to know before requesting anything from those same suppliers. And we ask yourself and ask ourselves the questions to get an understanding of your product. We ask ourselves questions like, is it an off-the-shelf item or is it fully bespoke? Do I know what material it'll be made from? Do I have a rough idea of the cost? Do I know the current raw material costs? Do I understand all the certifications and country compliance rules? All these questions that you need to know before or even looking about searching in China. Now you may think that this seems like too much like hard work. You may want a supplier to do all this hard work for you and ship you exactly what you had in mind directly to your Amazon FBA warehouse. Well, again, I'm sorry to say that it's just not going to happen. The supplier will get it wrong if you don't specifically spell out every single design point. There are, however, some benefits to getting a good understanding of the description of your product before you go out and try to source it though. If you've approached a supplier with all this information set out, it looks professional and easy to read, and crucially for overseas sourcing, understand. Additionally, it has your understanding of specifications. The responses back from suppliers will be 1,000,000 times better because of it. Suppliers instead will want to work with you, and the quotes that you will receive will be more accurate and occasionally cheaper, allowing you to understand if the products and product line that you've chosen is indeed a profitable venture to apply to your market. So that's question number 1. Always, always, always know what you're looking for before you go looking. You'll have a more profitable, successful search. Now we move on to what we actually have to ask our suppliers. Now I'm assuming that you've done a bit of work prior to this point. The first question we ask is, have you made components like this before? Ask specific questions around their manufacturing techniques. Some suppliers may be trading companies, so you may be able to catch a potential saving here. When asking details about the facilities, ask about what machines they use, where they are based, and how many current products they make. Ensure that you document this information as it will come in handy later, and we'll discuss this later on. Don't forget that this is the first contact that you make with your manufacturing partner, and that's what this is, a partnership. Now, because it's a partnership, you want to be accommodating, friendly, but firm. Don't be heavy-handed and disrespectful, but equally call people out on queries. It's a delicate balancing act finding the right supplier that is not only capable, but fair too. There may be some questions that start to show suitable suppliers and poor suppliers apart. You should know the answers to the problems that you are proposing. For example, if you know that you'll be using a plastic extrusion machine with accompanying tooling, the supplier should tell you what tool steel they use to make the tooling, for example. Take this information, and all the information for that matter, and research it. If any red flags come back, you know that it probably needs more clarification, or quite possibly, these are not the manufacturers that you want to be using. Now, when searching on places such as Alibaba, there are equal amounts of middlemen, trading companies and wholesalers. While these entities can have their benefits, especially if you want to find several different suppliers or you struggle with communication, but if you're looking for a manufacturing partner to get into bed with, you should aim to get as close to the manufacturing facilities as possible. So, question number 3. Are you a trading company or a manufacturer? Now, because, as we said before, you want to get as close to the manufacturing source as possible, you want to determine if the company you are dealing with is a manufacturer or a company buying and selling stock, a trading company. We'll do a later video on the benefits and cons, but there is a fundamental reason for ensuring that you're dealing with a manufacturer, other than raw cost, and it all boils down to quality. If you find that you have issues in production further down the line, then it becomes exponentially harder to fix quality issues the more layers of communication you have to go through. And a good indication of supplier versus trading company is ensuring to ask if you can visit the factory. I agree that it's difficult, even in COVID times, but there are ways that you can audit facilities if indeed you want to determine the manufacturing capability. Now, if you need any advice on auditing or visiting factories, please reach out to me. I'll give you examples of companies that conduct this sort of inspection, allowing you to get into the Chinese manufacturing facilities. Also, getting into facilities with a purchasing agent who speaks Chinese and give you a good guide to your manufacturing journey in every job that we conduct. As part of the auditing service, quality control systems will be uncovered. Still, before any feet on the ground, it's good to weigh up the capability of the facility's quality assurance and their fail-safes. Question number 4. What quality control systems do you have in place? Now, you want manufacturers to own their mistakes. To find the mistakes, they need to be employing useful quality control techniques. And the best way to uncover this is to ask about their current manufacturing capabilities. Now, if they state they make existing components for other companies, ask to see what quality assurance techniques they employ. Inquire how they test failures, where do the tests occur, and what happens to parts if they fail tests. Now, these are all relatively standard questions, and what you should be doing is documenting this information, as when it comes time to get auditors into the manufacturing facility, you want to cross-reference this information against the real-world situation. A good question to ask, and can sometimes catch facilities unaware, do you have a dedicated quality manager? And if so, who does he report to? Ideally, there is an independent quality manager, and they need to be reporting directly to somebody higher than the shift manager. And there's a simple reason for this. If a quality manager reports to a shift manager, the shift manager probably has a KPI to get stock out the door, regardless of the quality. Supply out the door means money in the bank. Facilities should have a separate line of escalation for quality employees independent of the line workers. And if you're not happy with the facility's quality assurance techniques and want to make some adjustments to satisfy your needs, get them to agree to this before sending the production funds to them. In every case, you want to decide on everything before production. The only way to legitimately bind this agreement, as much as possible, is with a contract. And this leads us very nicely to our final question. Question number 5. Can we document everything in a contract and sign before production fund transfer? And this includes any applicable intellectual property. Now, all your agreements need to go into a single document, and use this document to construct a contract, because this allows understandings to be remedied. And if you're conducting this agreement overseas, as most of you were, get this contract translated into the appropriate language. Ensure that all the necessary points are documented in it, and most importantly, which is why the question is asked at this point, only work with suppliers willing to sign into contracts, or at very least willing to put everything in a single document. This is especially true with a contract when working with components that have intellectual property. Now, when sourcing anything from facilities overseas, the bottom line is to do your due diligence at every point in the sourcing stage. If you want quality product out of your overseas suppliers, you really want to ensure that you are indeed starting your journey with a quality mindset, ensuring that you have asked as many questions as possible, getting a real understanding of your potential suppliers. Now, this leads us to the end of my top 5 questions that we ask suppliers when first starting to get an understanding of them. Remember, if it's too good to be true with overseas suppliers, it probably is. Remember, there are always other suppliers out there. It's sometimes hard to walk away from an agreement, but trust your gut. If you're not happy with the supplier's answers, better and probably cheaper in the long run to just walk away. Now, auditing facilities, in our opinion, is a must because it uncovers the lies that have been told in the questioning and the answers back to these questions. And more importantly, it puts your mind at ease. So if you want to learn more about auditing and how we actually go into facilities in overseas suppliers and understand who we're actually working with, then be sure to check out our video here and also check us out on our website, merchsprout.com. There's loads of information about how we actually audit facilities and the services that we offer in China. Now, thanks very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.